All right, we're going to do a video analysis here on Max. We're going to compare him to Spencer Strider just to see how his mechanics line up. So let's take Max into his leg lift. We see a good weight shift. Solid approach. Looks like he's in this basement. No shoes on, going pure grind right here. I love it, dude. All right, so let's see what we got. So we got leg lift right into weight shift right here, which is awesome, right? We're seeing here, leg lift, boom. You see that hip start to go forward as he comes down, right? He's not even on a mount. He's on flat ground. Back leg is loaded right here. Arm in a good spot as well. Let's take a look at Spencer. You'll see something similar. So you see leg lift. You see the same shift, right? He starts to go down. You see his arm, similar spot, right? Back leg loaded, all that good stuff. So as we take Max to continue out, we see he leads with that elbow really well right here to get up into that throwing position around 90 degrees right here. Boom, pretty good. And then a strong follow through where we see the hips come up. Looks really good, dude. Front leg looks very stable as well. We could see right here maybe a little more hip action. That's usually the hardest part, but that's where you can gain the most velocity. Front side looks really strong as well. I've always said that to you, Max. You have a really strong front side. You really tuck it pretty well. If we take a look down here at Spencer, again, this is a major leaguer who's throwing in a game situation off of a mound with cleats on, so it's definitely different than doing a tallow drill in your basement. But again, we're just trying to get an idea so that we can continue to learn. So if you look at Spencer right here in this crucial position, which for you would be like right there. Just for reference sake, just to give you an idea, look how his leg is loaded versus how your leg is loaded, right? This doesn't mean you have to squat down further. It just means you have to sit into your hip a little bit more, which I would anticipate would be better on a field or off of a mound than it is in this video. But again, this is just to give you some food for thought, some context, right? So you look at that right there. He's loaded in his back hip and his front leg is straight, so that means his hips are closed. Your front leg looks like it's pretty closed as well, so your hips are in a good spot as well. Right, so now as he strides out, as you can see, this is the crucial part right here. Right, so you're striding out just as he's striding out. I want you to watch his back leg and back hip as he throws it forward. You see that right there? He's here, and then boom. That knee turns over, which in turn will open up the hips. And as the hips, if you take a look at his arm, as the hips are going forward, his arm is coming up into that throwing position. Right? So for you, Max, we see something very similar, but I think you can get a little bit more loaded leg. Right? If we take a look here, you got a little bit of flexion, and you see that knee coming in a little bit and the hips starting to open and that arm getting up into that throwing position, which is good. Because then when we get here, right now the video is cut off a little bit, but when we get here, you have your hips going towards home plate and your shoulders are back here, which creates that separation in the stomach, right? In the midsection, in the core, whatever you want to call it. Spencer, if you look down below, very similar. He gets into front foot strike right here, and you could see his trunk is starting to face home plate, His shoulders and everything is still back in a loaded position. And then he uncoils right here. Boom. Everything follows through the baseball. Right? So what we're seeing up top with you, Max, is something very similar. Right? Where your hips open up late, which is good. You get some good torque as your arm gets into that layback stage right here, up to that 90-degree angle. And then as you come forward and stabilize, you see your trunk start to go up. Boom. And then you lock out. I think it looks really good, dude. To be honest with you, I mean, especially for a video in your basement with no shoes on what looks like to be carpet. You know, you check a lot of the boxes that we're looking for. I think the lower half looks really good. What I would tell you to continue to work on is try to continue to load this back hip as much as possible when you're doing the med ball drills. And be conscious of exploding through the back hip forward rather than trying to reach with that front foot. I know we've talked about this before, and you've gotten a lot better at it. It's just something I want to keep reminding you of because it's easy to try to just build momentum and use that front leg to try to slam it forward and get some power from there rather than sitting in that back leg like we do on the med ball drills and powering forward. Because you could tell right here you get some good hip drive, but I think you have more in the tank. Right, again, if we look back here at Spencer, I mean, the fact that he's even able to get like in this position here where his front foot is starting to open, so his hips are about to open as he goes into front foot strike. His back leg is loaded, and his arm is still in that down position, getting ready to come up as he leads with the elbow up into that throwing position, that 90 degrees we always talk about. So hopefully this is a good frame of reference. Let me know what you think. I'm excited to see your next video. Hopefully that one, if possible, can you get off a mound with a full angle? It's also better if you do your phone horizontal just for the analysis instead of straight up and down. But it looks really good, Max. I know you've been putting a lot of work into the program, and I'm really excited to see the progress that you're going to make in the coming months and in the coming season. Because I know you've been at this for a while. We talk constantly, and I'm rooting for you, man. So we're going to make it happen. Let me know what you think.